Employees whispered her name with a mix of fear and admiration. Aliyah Rahman, the CEO who never smiled, never lingered, and never let anyone close. She walked through glass corridors with perfect posture, her tailored suits immaculate, her voice calm and sharp as a blade. To the outside world, she was power, discipline, success, but what most people didn't see was the prosthetic leg hidden beneath her trousers, or the heart she had locked away years ago. Every morning, before the sun rose over the city, Aliyah sat alone on the edge of her bed. The apartment was silent, too silent. No photos on the walls. No laughter echoing from another room. Just the soft mechanical click as she attached her prosthetic leg, the sound she hated most. It reminded her of the night everything broke. Years ago, she had been vibrant, fearless, in love. A rising executive, newly engaged, planning a future filled with travel and children and shared dreams. Then came the accident. A drunk driver. Screeching metal. Fire. Darkness. She woke up in a hospital bed missing her left leg, and within weeks, she lost something else too. Her fiancé couldn't look at her the same way. His visits grew shorter. His excuses grew longer. Until one day, he stood at the foot of her bed and said the words that sealed her heart shut forever: "I didn't sign up for this." After that, Aliyah decided love was a weakness she could no longer afford. She poured everything into work. Built companies. Broke records. Became untouchable. If she stayed busy enough, strong enough, cold enough, maybe the ache would stay buried, and for years, it did, until one rainy evening changed everything. Her driver had called in sick, so Aliyah decided to drive herself home. The rain came down hard, blurring the city lights into streaks of gold and red. At a traffic signal, her car stalled. No warning. No response. Just silence in the middle of the road. Horns blared. Drivers shouted. Aliyah felt panic rise, an emotion she despised. Before she could step out, a man knocked gently on her window. He looked tired. Not desperate, just worn in the way people get when life demands more than it gives. He held an umbrella in one hand, and with the other, he pointed to the hood of her car. "I can help," he said softly. She hesitated. She always did. But something in his voice wasn't intrusive. It was, kinda. He pushed her car to the side with surprising strength, rain soaking his shirt. When it was done, he refused payment. "I've got a daughter waiting at home," he said with a small smile. "She thinks I'm a superhero. I shouldn't be late." That should have been the end of it, but fate wasn't finished. A week later, Aliyah visited a community center her company sponsored, something she usually delegated. As she entered, children's laughter filled the hall, and there he was, the man from the rain, standing beside a little girl with curly hair and bright eyes, helping her hang a drawing on the wall. "This is Lily," he said when he saw her, surprised but warm. "She made it herself." Lily looked at Aliyah's leg, noticed it immediately. Children always did. Aliyah braced herself, but Lily just smiled and said, "Your leg looks cool." Something inside Aliyah cracked. The man's name was Omar. A single father. His wife had passed away 3 years earlier from an illness that left behind hospital bills and silence. He worked 2 jobs. Volunteered when he could. Loved his daughter with everything he had. They began seeing each other more, brief conversations that slowly grew longer. Coffee turned into walks. Walks turned into shared stories. Aliyah found herself laughing again, quietly at first, as if afraid the sound might shatter, but when Omar asked her to dinner, fear returned. She pushed him away. "You don't want someone like me," she said coldly. "I'm not whole." Omar didn't argue. He didn't plead. He just looked at her and said, "Neither am I. That's why I recognize you." Days passed. Then weeks. Aliyah threw herself back into work, but the silence returned, louder than before. Late one night, she opened a drawer she hadn't touched in years. Inside was her old engagement ring. She finally cried, not delicate tears, but the kind that shake your chest and leave you breathless. The next day, she went to the community center. Omar was there, fixing a broken shelf. Lily ran up to her. "Daddy says you don't believe you're lovable," Lily said bluntly. "That's silly." Aliyah knelt down, tears welling. "Why?" she whispered. Lily hugged her leg, the prosthetic one, and said, "Because you helped my daddy once in the rain. And superheroes don't have to be perfect." Omar stood frozen, heart in his throat. Aliyah stood up slowly, trembling, not from weakness, but from truth. "I closed my heart because I was afraid of being abandoned again," she said. But I don't want to live like that anymore. Omar stepped closer. I'm not here to leave. That was the moment everything changed. They didn't rush. They healed together. Aliyah learned to be vulnerable. Omar learned to let someone care for him too. Lily gained not just a role model, but a home filled with warmth. Months later, at a company event, Aliyah walked on stage not to announce profits, but to announce a new foundation supporting amputees and single-parent families. She ended her speech with a smile, real, unguarded. For years, I thought losing a part of my body meant losing my right to love, she said. I was wrong. Love isn't about what's missing, it's about who stays.